Investing is a huge challenge, emotionally and intellectually.
That's when I realized what I should have learned in school. The real world was basically a huge slap in the face. Think about what's gotten more expensive over time. How to make and manage money. You guys have a monopoly on beluga caviar in the United States, right?
We do.
How's that gonna change the game for you guys? So how much do you think is like each spoonful of caviar?
I'll say about $45. Take more.
$45 right here. Take more? I'm like trying to be frugal.
I'm making $90.
Oh. So we're visiting the first property you ever bought that kicked off your whole real estate career. You gave up a stable, lucrative paycheck, and I think a lot of people would wonder, why would you do that? Think back to the path that you were on before this pandemic. How would that person feel looking at you now, setting up picnics for people?
That means dividing my money into equal lump sums that I invest at regular intervals. That ensures that I won't go all in at the top of the market.
Fancy says in a recent op-ed that ESG investing does little more in the world than help fund managers make more money. Other experts say ESG investing is Wall Street's way of doing what it can to contribute to what should be a multi-pronged fight. They say regulatory reform is a must. But that doesn't mean as an individual, you shouldn't do what you can, whether that's taking public transportation instead of driving or investing in companies that are more sustainable than others. Many are millennials relocating in search of a better life. A more comfortable, less stressful lifestyle the American dream once seemed to promise. A life that feels increasingly out of reach to the middle class.
There are so many beautiful cities in Europe. Why Lisbon?
This must be so different than Atlanta. It sounds like Lisbon is a place where you personally can afford to put your happiness first. So
Yes.
It's a big loss to the local community?
Definitely. I feel like we grow up in America thinking that America is the greatest country in the world.
Absolutely.
And I still have that mindset in a way. So is it hard to make that transition?
I think it's liberating to leave America.
Trader Joe's may not be the very best all-around grocery store, but it's not trying to be. The company does certain things so well, it's built one of the most passionate fan bases in the grocery business. Here's how. The company had to somehow convince a wider audience that its shoes weren't just about function, but about fashion, and that it's fashionable to put comfort first. But the company took some wrong turns along the way. That's because Yeti has built a lifestyle brand that feels authentic. Yeti products have come to represent a way of life that many people aspire to. Okay, I've heard so much about this mystical Birkin bag, I have to see one for myself. I'm about to walk into this Hermes store and ask for a Birkin bag. I'm nervous. So apparently they're out of stock for the next year. So you use dental tools to dissect the Birkin to see if it's real.
Yes, I feel like a detective.
The heightened emotional significance of this day is how many vendors justify the wedding tax. The idea that the same service costs more for a wedding than it would for a party. Around 39 million households in the US are starting to receive monthly payments of up to $300 per child, simply for having kids. Here's how to take advantage of the new enhanced child tax credit.
But on August 26th, the Supreme Court struck down the ban, ruling that the CDC had exceeded its authority. However, there's still an option for those who need help. Congress has set aside more than $45 billion in rent relief, and only a fraction of that money has been spent so far.
But my struggles also shaped my career by fueling my passion for financial journalism, which at its core is about empowering people to thrive and pursue their dreams.